what's up YouTube? In this video I'll be showing you how to make a Japanese style garden that features every single one of the things that you might be able to see in the video in front of you, except I won't be showing you how to make the house. I made the house in a previous video. If you haven't built it yet and you still want to build the garden and you feel as though that they can't exist without each other, check out the cards and the description below for that very nice looking Japanese style house that you can see on the screen in front of you. But it isn't necessary to build this garden. This would fit in with just about any house you like. It's just a really cool style of garden that really doesn't require any particular house or anything. So that is way more than enough talking. Why don't I show you how to actually build a Japanese style garden? So to make it, here's what you'll need. Grab yourself some red hardened glaze, some cobblestone slabs, some oak wood stairs, some spruce wood stairs, some oak wood slabs, some spruce wood fence, some oak wood fence, some sea lanterns, and some red banners. Plus, we need every single other item that you see in my inventory right now, plus probably even more. We will more than likely need even more materials. So once you have each one of those, and pause this video if you need to take a look at what we have and grab everything that we need. Well, once you have each one of those, and once you've figured out where you want to make your garden, I personally am making it outside of this Japanese style house, which remember is in the card system and the description below, should you want to actually have a Japanese style house to build your Japanese garden around. But again, it isn't compulsory, you can build this wherever. Well, what I'm going to do is, I'm not going to show you how to build this block for block. I'm just going to show you how you would actually build around your garden, because it's going to be unique. For those of you that aren't building it around a square house like this, then you can't really follow along because this one is very much molded to this particular house. Let me show you what I mean. So first, we're going to build a small pond with a small bridge going over it. I want my pond to kind of fit around the front left-hand corner of the house. So to make it, I kind of want to make, it's kind of like a jelly bean shape, pretty much. It's kind of like a jelly bean shape. I'm going to sculpt it out in the ground using cobblestone slabs, and I want it to look a little bit like this. And you basically just want to have, like I said, kind of like a bean shape for your actual pond, and you can extend it and make it bigger if you like, or you can make it smaller, or you can make it longer. I personally think that this is just about okay, but the only thing that we have to think about is we want to be able to stuff a bridge around this pond. We have to be able to put a bridge on it. And to make the bridge, basically, you start off with an oak wood stairs, and you extend that oak wood stairs over from one side of the pond to the other, using oak wood slabs. So you extend it over to one side, but from one side of the pond all the way over to the other. You might have to destroy some cobblestone slabs, and you connect it to the ground using your oak wood stairs. And then either side of your oak wood stairs, you want to place yourself some spruce wood stairs, and you also want to use spruce wood slab, which is a material that we don't actually have on us at the moment, and you want to do the same sort of thing that you've just done there, like with the oak wood, except with spruce wood. So you want to connect one side of the bridge to the opposite side of the bridge using spruce wood slabs, and once you have done that, you then want to place spruce wood fence on top of the spruce wood slab. So now you have a nice little bit of a bridge there, right? Looks pretty decent. I'm going to get rid of the red stained clay for a while, and I'm going to grab the cobblestone slabs again, because now our bridge and our pond, the pond doesn't look exactly how I'd like it. I'd like it to be a bit more shapely. I'd actually like it to jut out a little bit more down at the bottom here. So I'm going to extend it out down at the bottom. And I actually kind of like it at the top. And that's what you've got to do. You've just got to edit it, and you've just got to make it how you like it. So that's the first thing that we've added. We have just added a nice little bit of a pond there, a nice bridge that we can actually walk over from. So the next thing we're going to focus on is we're going to focus on the back left hand corner of the build. And again, you can kind of place any one of these particular individual parts of the garden. You can place them anywhere. I'm just showing you where I'm placing them on mine, because I think that they fit very, very well with this particular shape of the house. But in the back left-hand corner of the garden, I'm going to have a gazebo. That's what essentially it is. It's a gazebo. And I'm going to start off the gazebo with 3 rows of 3 oak wood planks. Now, we don't have planks, but we have slabs. So 1, 2, and 3 rows of oak wood planks, or oak wood slabs, and we're just going to turn those into planks. Then we're going to take the center block on each side, and we're going to extend it outwards with an oak wood stair. Then we're going to do spruce wood slabs either side of the stairs, and we're going to turn them into planks. So we want to turn those slabs into planks because we don't have room for 2 additional materials. And we're also going to place spruce wood stairs. So on the front of the gazebo, we want spruce wood stairs facing this way in between the 2 planks. Coming out in front, and on the back we want the exact opposite. We want to have the actual spruce wood stairs like facing outwards from the back. We then, with our oak wood fence, want to place 3 oak wood fence on each one of the 4 corners, kind of wrapping around like that. We then want to extend up each one of those corner blocks by 1 with the oak wood fence. We then want to go all the way around on top of the gazebo with a layer of spruce wood stairs. So we just kind of want to go all the way around the top with spruce wood stairs like this, preferably facing the right way. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? And then what we're going to do is we're going to kind of draw a plus shape in the top of this with our spruce wood slabs, and then extend it up with our slabs once again to kind of form plank blocks, and then we're going to stick an additional spruce wood slab right on top. Or, if you like, you can use oak wood, just to kind of change things up a little bit. So, completely up to you. We're going to stick a sea lantern right in the center of this, so we have a nice little light source, and we're going to place red banners. This is really cool, actually. I really like this gazebo. And we're going to place red banners on the outer parts of the gazebo, like on the front and the back. We're not going to do it on the sides because we don't want to clutter it that much. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to add a little bit of a water feature around this. We're going to connect in the ground each one of the spruce wood planks together that are next to the oak wood stairs. So we're kind of going to form this sort of shape. We're forming like rings with the spruce wood slabs, and we're just like going around, and like I said, we're just forming like rings of spruce wood slabs going all the way around the base of the gazebo. And once we've actually finished this, we're going to add some stairs. I'm not going to add stairs. We're going to add some fence going all the way around on top of the slabs, and we're also going to add some oak wood in between these. So we're forming what essentially, it kind of looks like a flower, like the outline of a flower, what we're making here with these spruce wood planks, but you guys know what we're doing. We're kind of making a shape that looks like this. It kind of does. It looks like a 4-leaf clover or something. Perfect. So we're now just going to knock out the centers of each one of the 4 pathways that we've made into our gazebo, and we're going to place oak wood slabs in there. And then, like I said, we're going to be placing fence on top of the spruce wood, like this. And eventually, I'm not going to do it just yet, we're going to hollow out in between what we've just made, and we'll fill this in with water. And it will look really, really nice. It's kind of unique. I really like this build, actually. The more and more I kind of look at it, and this is the second time that I built it, I actually really, really like this. This is kind of cool. This is a cool build all just by itself, I think. It's like a really nice, cool gazebo. And like I said, we'll fill that in with water eventually, but when we're going around places with water, that's when we'll do it. So, once you've got that bit taken care of, the next aspect of our garden it's not a massive aspect, but to kind of like connect the back 2 corners of the garden together, I'm going to place like a random path of oak wood slabs, kind of just like spanning the back, kind of like the back left-hand corner to the back right-hand corner, and I'm going to place some cobblestone slabs around like this. It's just kind of like to bridge the gap between the 2 back corners, pretty much. And what we're going to have on this back corner, actually, is kind of a similar idea to what we have with this, except a lot cooler. So, on this back corner, we're going to have kind of like a wooden walkway that is submerged in the water with a nice cherry blossom tree next to it. So, we're kind of going to have, it's kind of like a corner shape, kind of like a mustachy shape. with our oak wood slabs, and it wants to look like this. It wants to envelop the corner of our build. It wants to look a little bit like that. It's like jagged, right? And we want to have spruce wood fence either side of some parts of this. So maybe we'll begin on the ends with the spruce wood fence. So we want it on the ends here, right? And then just place it like randomly, maybe like here is good. And maybe like here, that's also good. So now we have some fence theoretically supporting this. And what we're going to do is we're just going to dig around this, starting from either end. And we're just going to dig kind of like a pool shape that is very, very similar to the shape of the kind of like mustache project that we've just made. Maybe we'll extend it a bit further this way a little bit, just so that we can kind of get a smoother, cleaner pool shape like that. And maybe we'll just knock this out a bit, and we'll just we'll drag it in a little bit on the corner, just so that it's yeah, there we go. And we just want to extend it out the other side because we want it to look random. Is what we want. We want it to look natural. We don't want it to look as though anybody's tampered with this, except of course we have tampered with it, but we don't want it to look that way. And what we want to do is we want to dig an area around it, and we're also going to just dig out this area, and later on we'll fill it with water, because that's going to be later. As a matter of fact, it's going to be very, very soon is when we're going to be doing this. But we want to do it a little bit later, don't we? So I'm just going to dig out all of the grass here, and then I will fill this in with water a little bit later. But we do have something else to do before we start doing that sort of stuff. But trust me, that's going to look really, really cool once we've actually finished it. And you know what I'm going to do, actually? I'm going to keep the grass here. I'm just making it look a little bit less man-made like that. That looks alright, doesn't it? And maybe we can just add a couple of bits here and like here and here. There we go. That looks pretty decent. So we want to have something like this on like the back right-hand corner of the build, or anywhere that you feel that it might fit in. And what we want to have in between this and the front right-hand corner is it's basically just a little bit of cobblestone slab and some stone slabs. In the ground, I'm kind of going to dig a little bit of a path. You're going to see this on multiple sides of our build, and we're just going to have kind of like a little bit of a rough cobblestone path that takes us from each one of the four corners of the house, like, or each one of the four corners of the garden, like around. And this particular one, it's got some stone slabs surrounded by some like cobblestone slabs as well. So the cobblestone's built into the ground, the stone slabs aren't. But what we do want to do on the very front right-hand corner of our garden, and it actually wants to be set back a little bit. It wants to start about here. So we do have some things here, but that's okay. We can work around them. So we want to make a Zen garden. This Zen garden is as big as you want it to be, really, but I'm going to make mine, let's say, shall we say 7 blocks long, 7 blocks wide. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then I'm just going to extend this over to the left, and I'm going to connect it as well. So like that. And inside of this garden, I'm going to grab some sand. I'm going to need the slabs, and I also need the stone brick slabs and a little bit of double tall grass, stuff like that. So we're going to have an oak wood slab path that takes you through our little Zen garden. So it's going to cut straight through the middle, and it's going to kind of like connect to the front, or from the front to the back. So if that makes sense, it kind of wants to connect from the front of the house, and it kind of wants to go towards the back like that, right? And we want the slabs to kind of like meld into the ground like this. So we kind of want it to have like this shape, kind of like a clock face, and it wants to like meld into the ground after a little while. And I'm just going to grab some grass just so that I can fix this stone slab, because it's driving me mad, to be honest with you. There we go. I'm going to place a random double tall grass, maybe in this corner here. I'm also going to build up a little bit of a rock in this corner using stone brick slabs. And then I'm going to fill the rest of this in with sand, and that will be our little Zen garden. It's just really, really easy to add, looks really cool. It's just a nice little addition, basically, is what this is. It's just a nice little addition to your garden. You could absolutely add this to any one of your particular builds, and I don't know, a lot of these things you can kind of just add and they look cool, like they don't have to be with a Japanese themed house. And that's the Zen Garden. The next defining character here is going to be, I don't even know what these things are, but it's like a big red structure at the front of the house, and the red structure is actually in line with the entranceway here. So what we're going to do is, with our cobblestone, we're kind of just going to destroy a bit of a rough path from the very entrance of the house to where we want this thing to be. So it's difficult to describe, but you will probably have seen one. And like I said, I'm just destroying a rough path of cobblestone coming out in front of the house towards the front. So there we go. But again, it's so difficult to describe, but it looks like this. We want to start off with a row of 5 hardened clay coming up from the ground. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I'm then going to take this 5th hardened clay, I'm going to extend it to the right by 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I'm going to connect it to the ground. And do make sure that that is in line with the actual entrance of the house, if you can see what I'm talking about, where we have those 2 spruce wood planks connected to the ground. This wants to be in line with them. Take the top 2 corners of your red structure and extend it to the right and left, each by 2. So the top 2 corners outwards by 2, 1, 2, and we want to do on the opposite side 1, 2. Then we're going to miss a row and come down, and we want to take those outward blocks and extend them left by 1, and we want to extend them right by 1, plus we also want to connect that row together. So we want to have a shape which should look exactly like this. It kind of looks like a park bench or something, like the outline of a park bench, but I don't even know what these are. I just know that they're present in like some Japanese structures, and I think they look really, really cool. So that's what they have. Maybe you guys know a bit more than me. You probably do. And I'm just going to add an additional cobblestone going in those. And that is the basic structure of the garden complete. Like most of the garden's done. The hard bits are done anyway. The next couple of things we're going to do is we're going to add a couple of trees around the place. I'm going to add a tree here next to the pond on the left hand side, on like the front leftish corner of the house. And to make these trees, it's so easy, and they would look so good as well. You just basically want to start off with a few birch wood coming up from the ground, like the white and black wood, just a few of them, and then just add, let's say, a pink wool on top of that third one, and then extend that pink wool outwards in every single direction. And then maybe add another layer of pink coming out from that. Then add another layer of pink on top of everything that you have, like this. And then maybe like extend the top up, maybe like the middle blocks, and then the very top up. And then suddenly you have a good looking tree, but it looks a little bit like manufactured. It doesn't look real, so to speak. So just add, like, you then just want to add a bit of randomness to it. So you might want to add a couple of extra layers of pink going around the outside. You might want to make it a lot wider than it is in certain places. You might just want to extend out certain blocks and extend some down, and suddenly your tree looks a lot better. And then just add like a random birch wood coming out from the trunk, like that, or add 2 birch woods, and there you go, now you have a nice looking tree. And add some pink carpet to the ground, because with this being a cherry blossom tree, you get that cherry blossom, which I love by the way, just everywhere on the ground. And that's what that is, and I think that looks really cool. We're also going to add a few more of these trees, actually 2 more. We're not going to add a few, we're going to add 2. So another one of these trees is going to be on the right hand side, so just right of this little path that takes us from the Zen garden to like this walkway at the back, we're just going to have another tree. And this tree is going to be made in the exact same way, by the way. We're just going to start off with a row of 3 birch wood. Is it birch? Yeah, birch wood. We're just going to start with a row of 3 birch wood, and we're just going to build up the tree. We're going to start with the same thing, like they all start the same way, and then we're just going to extend it out. This one is going to be a bit bigger, I think. I think we're going to make this one bigger because it needs to cover a bit more ground. It needs to kind of like come this way a lot. Like I'd like it to kind of like almost like be a part of the walkway, really, is what I would like. So we're just going to make this a bit bigger, and you'll find that, you know, sometimes you don't make it a way that you like. Sometimes you have to destroy it a little bit, but that's all right. That's completely fine. So there we go. It's a little bit bigger. It doesn't have to be like the same. It doesn't have to go the same way in each individual direction. And don't be afraid to mess about with the top of the tree as well, if you like. So there we go. that looks alright, doesn't it? And then we can add some pink carpet going all the way around. I mean, these are just some ideas for you. I mean, again, you don't have to add this to a like a particular like Asian style build or a Japanese style build. This can be used like in any garden, anywhere, and it will look really cool. And we're just going to add one more. We're going to add one more this time, guys, and it's actually going to be coming from the water. We're going to have one coming from the water about halfway around our little like boardwalk here. We're just going to have a tree coming from the water, and again, it's going to be started in the exact same way as we did the previous two trees. They're so easy to make, and they look so good in my opinion. It's I just can't help but building them because I do love them no end. And the only difference between this one is perhaps you don't want to have any blossoms on the ground, or maybe you do, because we could add some to the outer part over there, so we could add some over here. And again, I just kind of want this to be a part of the walkway that we have. I just kind of want it to be involved in the walkway, and I just want it to be something that kind of like sticks out and is really colourful and it's really striking. So that's why I'm making a load of these, and that's what I like about them. And I'm just going to add some pink carpet to the outer parts here. I'm not going to have any in the water. I'm going to spread those out a little bit more, maybe like that. And there we go. And that, I think that looks really nice, doesn't it? Yeah, I really like that. So those are the trees that we're adding. The next thing I'm going to do is, I've noticed that on this left-hand side, between the pond and the gazebo, there's not really anything going on around here, is there? There's not too much going on, so we're just going to knock a little bit of cobblestone out in the floor. If there's nothing going on in the floor or surrounding anywhere, like if you want to draw people to a place of significance, like adding like a little bit of a helper path like this definitely draws people along. Like if you were to, let's say you were completely blind, or you just don't have your view distance on very far, like if you see this, like you're obviously drawn to this part of the garden. And I'm just going to add some bone meal and some grass and stuff. So I'm just going to add a little bit of bone meal about the place. Now, if you don't like adding bone meal because of its random, unpredictable nature, then that's completely fine. But I really like bone meal and the effect that it gives. I like it a lot. So I'm not so bothered. But you might find that you want to individually place, like, you might want to individually place flowers, and particularly in certain places place grass and stuff. But I really like it. I love how it looks. And when used either sparingly or a lot or strategically, I think it just makes the place look amazing. And what I'm now going to do is I'm going to do the water parts. The water parts are really, really simple. So obviously we have to fill this pond here. We have to fill this with water. You don't have to fill the whole thing with water. Like, I've noticed that we have a little bit of grass there, right? I'm going to leave that. I'm not going to destroy the block that it's sitting on. I'm just going to leave it as is. And I think that will look really, really cool. I like it a lot. So you guys, like I said, you can do this, you can do something different, you could add ducks to this pond, you could do whatever you like. You could make it bigger, you could make it smaller, you could change the bridge, you could make things a bit fancier. It's basically just an idea of what you can do to gardens. If you're a bit unimaginative, like I can be sometimes, and you just don't know what to add to a garden, stuff like this looks really, really cool. And as I do keep rabbiting on about, it doesn't have to be in any particular sort of garden that you add something like this. It can be any garden. You can add it absolutely anywhere. It will fit in, honestly. It will fit in and it will look great. I'm going to destroy underneath these slabs just to make it look a bit nicer, actually, because I do want the water to flow underneath. I don't want the slabs to be sitting on anything. And once we've actually finished this bit, we'll have finished our Japanese garden, and we can take a little bit of a look around it. We can actually have a walk around the place, because I think it's really cool. And it doesn't take that long to make, and if you need a bigger one, it's really easy to simply make a bigger one, because you just make more of this. Like, you make more pathways, you make more walkways, you can really extend out a garden by just adding more of the same thing, and you can just make it in new and interesting ways. But there we go. I think that we've just about, have we finished this? Have we made all the water still? Yeah, I think we have. Okay, so if we have a nice little aerial view of our garden, there we go. Now suddenly our house is brought to life. It looks a lot better, doesn't it? I don't know why I'm getting rid of all my materials, but I am. It looks a lot better, doesn't it? That looks fantastic. So why don't we have a walk around it? So we're obviously meant to enter here through this little gate, and we have a look on the left and we can see a nice little bridge with some water and a nice pond, and it just looks really nice. I really like this, and I like the fact that we've left one of the grass blocks with some grass on top because it looks really nice, and the trees are looking great. We've got some cherry blossoms on the ground, and we know that we're supposed to go this way despite the fact that there's a gazebo there. We know we're supposed to go this way because we've kind of got a path following around, and oh, that's what we've got to do as well. I completely forgot about that. I'm just going to add some water around the gazebo because that will make it look a little bit nicer. And inside this gazebo, if you wanted to add a seat or two, then that would be completely up to you. Yeah, the gazebo looks pretty nice like that, doesn't it? I definitely think that the water adds to it. That's wonderful. And if we walk up to this gazebo, we can come inside of it, and it's nice and lit up, and we can take a nice look around our garden. We've got plenty to look at around here, and we can actually walk around the back of the house, and we can follow along this oak wood plank or this oak wood slab path, and we're connected to this little bit of a water walk, which is really cool, by the way. I really like this. Oh, the water isn't, the water's flowing there, but I guess it doesn't matter. And we can walk underneath this tree, or attempt to walk underneath this tree, and it connects us back to the front of the house. We follow this little bit of a path, and we have a Zen garden here. The Zen garden's looking pretty good, if you ask me. And there you go, guys. I mean, that's the garden. It's so easy to make. It looks fantastic. If you have a house like this, or if you have just a house in general and you feel as though that this would work well with it, then I'd absolutely suggest adding it. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. It's a bit of a different one. Like, I didn't show you how to make absolutely everything like block by block, but you're not supposed to make them block by block exactly. Like, some of these things are really like house specific, so I could show you how to make like the original versions of these, but it might not work for your particular house, so it's best that you kind of just freestyle it like I did. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give the video a like. I'd really appreciate it. I honestly would. Comment down below, did you like this? Would you like to see something else? Would you like to see any other varieties of houses or gardens that I have that I kind of have like rolling in my head? Let me know down there in the comment section. Follow me on Twitter at TSMC360. If you make this or any variation of this using a different style of house or what have you, follow me on Twitter, show me a picture of it. I'd love to see it. Thank you. I thank you to those of you that do send me pictures, because I really do love seeing them. Also, if you wouldn't mind, subscribe. I'd really appreciate that as well. Subscribe if you want to see what I build and all of my upcoming projects. There's loads to see. Check out the cards in the description below for this house in particular, but I'll also leave a couple of places that I think that you guys will really enjoy as well. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.